Testing, testing, mic test. All right. Quick mic test before we get into this. All right. Mic is working, which means that we are alive. Okay. We're alive and we're alive. To new beginnings. Put the glasses on so I look smarter. I want to talk about something. We have officially begun our what's it called? Uh, the first step, Hajime no Ippo, the first step. The beginning step. Okay, first post, LinkedIn, just talking about things related to the thesis, doing the usual, you know what I mean? Kind of, got the banner up yesterday. Got my LinkedIn profile kind of a little more, what do you call it? Got my LinkedIn profile ready, updated, and I made my first post. All right, and I want to talk about success and how it's rated. How do you evaluate success? Because your own perception of it might be one thing, but there is only one rule when it comes to evaluating success, and that is how much output do you get for your input, right? There's a reason why, what's that movie with like the found footage, right? The first one of that. I'm going to quickly Google it. Found footage movie. There was a horror movie. The first of its kind. It was. Wow, I can't find it. The Blair Witch Project. All right, it's kind of like the Blair Witch Project. The the budget was $60,000, and to date, as a percentage of its budget to how much it's made, it's one of the most successful movies of all time. I think the most successful from that metric, which I think is probably the most important metric out there, right? You can make a billion in a movie, but if you spent 900 million on it, how much of a success is it, right? How much of a success is it? So, are by far the most important and require the most effort. Time. Time is the most important uh, uh, metric. Time and multiplication. How much can you do with as little as possible and get the most amount of results? That's why a lot of those kind of that make it big, that become cult classic, and over the time become so well known. It's like Halloween, right? Uh, Made by pretty much unknown, like John Carpenter. It's one of the most recognizable movies ever made. Right. That's real success, right? Studios, business, they just have a lot of ability to buy eyeballs, right? Because they have distribution, right? But real success, the real climbing ladder for success is that time versus multiplication. What can you do in a short amount of time and have for the smallest amount of resources to have the maximum uh, ROI impact? impressions. You know, what's the metric for performance? And that's what I'm focused on. We've made our first post. I've got I've got what? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see my network on LinkedIn. How many do I have? Baby account. I've got a baby account. All right. And if I look at my what's network, I'm still new to this, but let me move the camera down so my head's in frame. Baby network. I've got 18 connections. Right. Started yesterday. Baby. Right. That's the most important part. How much can I get in a week? In 2 weeks. Right. And I made my first post. It's been not it's been like an hour or two. I've got almost 100 impressions. Hour one, hour two. That's important. That tells me that something right now. All I have to do is do the rest of the having do the do the improvement. I have to find people making content with and because I want to show them why I'm valuable, right? In a in the most useful way possible, right? So that's hour one, hour two, right? And it's like their friends on there, people from university, just build up the connection slowly, That's all right? So I've got 2 videos scheduled, one for 15 at night, and one for the morning. I am going to spend the rest of my time on my thesis, reading it again and again, making improvements, developing the insights that I have, and then presenting that to the best of my ability, writing as many scripts as I can because now it's a bit of a tough schedule. I admit it, right? 3 videos a day for the next 2 weeks. And you missed the morning one today, but you know, nothing in life is perfect. You can only do your best. Right? And yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on the analytics, right? And part of it is just following people that are my niche or as closely related to my niche as possible. Leaving well thought out comments. Thank you very much. Leaving well thought out comments, replying to things I can actually reply to, right? It's not just like, good job. Oh, I really like this. I don't do that. I see a lot of that, and it kind of becomes like a grayscale after a while. Like, my brain just naturally ignores those. It's like, great questions. It's just kind of like, that's not what I want. You want to have, and I'm not saying they're not useful for kind of creating connections. They're very useful. And you say good job enough time in someone's comments, they'll probably, um, they'll probably want to connect. But you have to also be providing real insight, right? It's like, yes, you can do that. It's good. It works, but it's not enough. That's just creating clout. That's just creating, like, that's just cool. That's just being cool or popular. That doesn't create uh, the right kind of attention. At least in my opinion, when you provide real value, when saying things that really resonate with people, that's when you get people actually paying kind of spontaneous attention to you, right? And we want spontaneous attention because LinkedIn is a business networking platform. So everyone on there is kind of on there because they feel like they have to be, right? There's obviously the people on there that, the higher up, the C-suite executive class, right? And then there's the rest, right? And everybody just wants to gain attention. And the reason you're on LinkedIn is to grow career-wise, right? So to cut through that, you have to you have to resonate with people. You can't just say things. They have to be thought out. You have to have a thesis, and everything has to be related to that singular idea. You can't just be commenting on everything, right? For the sake of growing your connections. That's good to get the ball rolling, but once you're at like 100 connections, it's like, like if you get to 1,000 connections using just trying to get clout, trying to be cool, uh, you might not have a very rich uh, network. But if people are connecting with you based off of your ideas, based off of your insights, those are people that see value in you, and I think that's incredibly important. So I'm going on people that I want to be in my network, and I'm posting comments, and I'm actually reading their posts, and I'm sitting there for a few minutes thinking. I'm like, what is there something here that I can possibly add to? If it's not, I won't add. I will not comment. Not even like a, great. This is so on point. Nothing like that. Despite it being useful, I just find, you know, I just started. I want to do more useful things to begin with, right? So it's like if I can't figure out something to say, but I like the post, I just like and I scroll. But if I like a post and I have something to say, I have an opinion, I have some insight based off of my experience the past 2 months, then I am doing something right. I'm commenting, I'm engaging. And what you find is I've noticed that when I've done that, and I've done it a few times now, but I get replies from the people from the post, right? Because they see something, because it's like if someone says, good job, right? The most you can do in response, because everybody's doing that, right? The most you can do in response is just like the comment, right? So I'm kind of playing meta games with LinkedIn, right? I'm trying to get into people's heads. The most you can do is just like, if someone comments on your post, just something like a thumbs up, like, yeah, I really agree with this. There's not much you can do to respond to that. But if someone offers their own insights or asks a question or adds to what you're saying, now the person who's made that post, or anyone else, for example, has an ability to add, to disagree, you know, and that is, it's kind of like putting the ball in their court and allow them to add their own insight, which is good for their personal branding. It's like creating an opportunity for yourself to get a response that also helps the other person, because it creates more engagement, because more people will see that. It won't just be like, how interested are you in reading a bunch of like, good job, I really agree with this, this is so on point type of messages. Not saying those are bad, those are great for creating connections. I'm saying, how much, as a third party, let's say, are you interested in when you see that, right? But I just, funnily enough, I just got a response. I just got a notification for a response and a comment I made. Someone loved my comment, right? So there you go. Other people have an opportunity to chip in, right? And that creates conversation. And I've been thinking about this, and I'm waiting for the point where people begin, like people outside of my circle, perhaps, or outside of my connections, or even in my connections that I'm slowly building up. People I don't really know, but who I see could be a good part of my network. When I get to that point, I've been thinking about comments, right? Because I've spent quite a few hours on LinkedIn, just kind of scrolling through, and I realized that a lot of it, like the comments are not interesting. Like the top few, the ones that get the most likes, is like cool, yeah. But it's like, what do you do? And sometimes you scroll down, you do find a really good comment, right? But it just gets lost if you have like 80 comments or like 100 comments. No one's going to sit there. No one has the time. No one who's doing something useful has the time to like go through everything, right? They're going to see it, take the most interesting parts, and move on, right? That's a fair way of engaging with content, right? But if you have so much, it's like, how many people are actually like, if you get like, let's say 1,000 people kind of watching your video, let's say you get 100 comments, probably not the best kind of metric for it, but let's say you get 100 comments. How many people are then, like, think about the filter? How many people are watching the video, reading the post, whatever, going to the comments, scrolling all the way down, reading each comment? Not a lot of people, right? Especially if it's a more popular post. And the more popular a post is, the more popular the poster is, right? And people want to engage with people with a lot of connections because it makes them feel like they'll be kind of introduced into that network, right? That's at least the thinking. And you can cut through that with leaving more engaging comments that kind of spark conversation, which helps engagement for the post itself, for the person who posted it, but also for you. So it's kind of quid pro quo. Does a little bit for you, does a little bit for them, well, does a lot more for you. But nobody like, how interesting would it be for someone to respond to comments in video form, right? Like, if someone posts a comment and you respond to it via video, it shows that you're not just, using an AI tool to respond, or just, throwing empty platitudes, that you're actually thinking about what they're saying, right? If someone's put an interesting comment on your post and you respond to that comment, it's like you're taking that comment from somewhere where it won't be noticed to somewhere like where it might get like 10 or 20 impressions, to somewhere where it can get 100 or 1,000 impressions, because you've turned that comment into content, right? So that's something I've been thinking about. But yeah, I've been coming up with a lot of ideas on how to metagame LinkedIn, because I'm actually really enjoying it. It's very kind of there's a lot to do, but I'm staying motivated. And I mean, even now, I'm here right now. 7 rare tips to land your dream job. Optimize your resume, network early, like I was saying, drill for interviews strategically. So use the STAR framework: situation, task, action, result. See, I like to actually read the posts that if I click like, here are a few of my favorites. What's the biggest problem I can solve for you in the first 6 months in the role? Nice. Write a thank you note. So right now, this is technically prospecting, right? If I'm reading someone's post and I'm coming up with ways to respond, if I'm engaging with them, I'm prospecting, right? And the number one thing you should always be doing is prospecting. Prospecting is the name of the game. 7, negotiate your offer package. Right? Thank you notes. I, right? Thank you notes. That's funny. I don't know if that would work, but 10 habits. See, I'm like, this is what you do, right? Read. Read what's coming up. Don't just like, or just look for something interesting. The 10 habits that pay off forever. Giving back, agree. Exercising daily, agree. Giving back, becoming mindful, yes. Getting quality sleep, hell yes. Looking after your body. I feel like that goes with two, but obviously there's more to it when you say looking after your body. Making new relationships, yes. Adopting a growth mindset, yes. Prioritizing your mental health. I think if you're doing all the other nine, your mental health gets better anyway. Embracing continuous learning, yes. Building emotional intelligence. Yeah, nothing to add. I'll just keep scrolling. See, did it? I'm doing it right in front of you guys. But yeah, um, and that's it, right? I feel like I've covered quite a lot. You know, consider this a campaign for my thesis. How much can I do in a week, in 2 weeks, if I just stick to the schedule that I've created? And will that give me a desirable outcome that other people would want? And then I become someone with the experience to teach someone else because I've been through something difficult, right? So I think the biggest thing for me right now is, I think I've got a really good handle on the format of the content. And right now it's going to be just like hammering away at scripts, reading content posted by people in my niche and using that, what's popular in that niche, using that to convert it into scripts, and then, perhaps in one day film like 10 videos and then edit them all and have them, you know, scheduled or at least ready to edit, right? Because editing a video might take me like 30 minutes to 40 minutes per video, hour if it's, editing intensive. The filming takes about 5 minutes. Um, so a whole video process, and the writing will probably take another 20 to 30 minutes. But sometimes, that's a weird thing. Sometimes an idea comes and I'll just write a script and it's like, okay, I'm happy with it. Sometimes it's like write and rewrite and rewrite and I'm not happy and then it gets like thrown away. So it's a bit of a weird thing, but I think tonight it's going to be like script, 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 script. Write as many as I can, do as much research as I can, make the best quality scripts. Tomorrow morning, get up and film as many as I can. I'll film all of them, really. Film all of them, um, and edit them and start scheduling one after the other. And it's like, I'll see what's my maximum output in a single day, because the filming process is actually not that bad, but it's the editing that really gets me. Because I edited 2 videos today and it wasn't that bad because I kept the editing simple. And, you know, um, did I edit 2 today? Yeah, I did edit 2 today. One of them scheduled, one of them posted. And I had another one from the other day that I did not post because I couldn't think of a hook. And then I just decided to not overthink it and keep it simple. And that's scheduled as well. So I've got 2 on the schedule. And like I want to be like 10 videos ahead, right? Because that gives me plenty of time to focus on other things, right? The videos are good. That process is a good process. I like that process. I think it's going to show great returns. The rest is, I need to focus on shouting platforms. I haven't spent enough time working on that part of the skill. And I want to do that more. And I want to do a bunch of content. And then, like, after a 3-day period, there's suddenly like a big change in the quality of the content, right? Every 3 days, it's like a big change in the quality of content. It becomes more and more niche specific. the content that does well, and I want to grow my network at the same time. And it's like as I grow my network at the same time, and as I see which content does well, that pushes me into another direction or a specific direction. Because LinkedIn is very different to like YouTube and Instagram, right? It's like you're getting like a very specific type of audience that wants a very specific type of thing, right? You can be on Instagram for business, right? You can be on Facebook, TikTok for business, but if you're on LinkedIn, that's all you're there for. You know what I mean? I think a big part of it is finding your own voice, which has taken me 2 months to kind of find, and I think I'm still struggling with it. Like, I think when you're trying to do something, you always try to emulate what you see, and you always try to learn from the best. So when you try to make your own thing, you try to emulate that, and you kind of talk like them, but you haven't done the things that they've done. So I'm at the risk of trying to sound like an expert when I want to sound like a student, and that's unintentional, but I got to work on that. I've got to rewrite a script because I think it comes off too pompous. Because it's like, oh, I want to make content like a certain person, or that person's in my niche, and I watch their content for research, and I end up trying to sound like them, which is bad. It's not good because you're not them. So you have to find your own voice, and I think my voice is in the realm of student. So you know, unless you have a mountain to stand on top of, a mountain of experience, and a mountain of accolades to stand on, then you should really reconsider the way that you speak to people, which I am figuring out the hard way. But yeah, that's what I'm focusing on right now. Content performance, we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I've been holding in a piss since I began, or so like 5 minutes before. But I thought, I'm gonna have to, you know, I want to pack up and then go toilet. I can hold it, but I want to get to the 30-minute mark. I do want to like just do like an 8-hour live where I just sit and edit, but I don't want to go live from my laptop, and I edit on my phone. So if there was a way I could like do that, I would, but not currently. Not currently. Maybe I need a second phone just for editing, or is that a useless expense? Don't know. But yeah, yeah, we're at the end of our live basically. I think like when it comes to like just pure use, I think 30 minutes is probably what I've done. Before I used to do like 2 hour lives sometimes occasional three, but I haven't done that in a while because it's like, do I just want to sit and yap for a while? And I do want to, do longer lives, but this is probably a good time to do lives. I think. What time is it in London? Like, I think I'm 3 hours ahead, so 7. It's 4 o'clock. Not bad, but I could probably do it a little earlier, like lunchtime in London. I like to think I'm on London time still, but yeah. This was fun, interesting. I'm going to keep on it. I've got plenty of work to do. The work has just begun. I realized that I've been incredibly, like it's really stressful, really difficult work, but it's like just beginning, right? That wasn't even the beginning of it. This is the beginning. And it's like, okay. And honestly, as it's getting harder, you know, it never matters whether the thing you're doing is hard or not, for me at least. It's like as long as there is a path I can see, right? So early days, I was probably even more stressed because there was less of a path, but the actual task was much more simple, and now it's like the task is far more difficult, but my understanding of the situation is much higher level to before. And of course, there's plenty more to learn, but just that, just knowing more and seeing, having a further amount of vision, even if the task is more difficult, you know, is a great confidence builder, which I'm happy about. But yeah, that's enough for today. Be good, do good things, and subscribe, and good things happen. Obviously, the YouTube growth has now stagnated because I'm not posting shorts here. Maybe I should. I don't know. Haven't decided. Like I really only care about LinkedIn right now. Yes, like I don't really see the value in YouTube shorts at the moment. Boy, how times change. But yeah, something I got to think about. I want to focus on one platform. I don't want to spread my um, effort. One platform is enough, and I think LinkedIn is probably the best one with the way it allows me to target so specifically. Yeah. Subscribe and good things happen. I'll see you tomorrow.